With millions of Americans still out of work, those of us who have jobs probably feel lucky to have them. But my guest today, James Altucher, president of Formula Capital, has 10 reasons why you should quit your job. James, controversial statement, just to say that. A lot of people would love to have a job. You're saying people who have jobs, most of us should quit them? Why?
Yeah, you're almost like The Walking Dead right now if you have a job. And so I'm going to talk about what's going on, why is it happening, and how you can kind of deal with the fact that your job is going to disappear.
So what's going on?
So what's happening is that every company is essentially firing all of their employees and replacing them with temp employees. And I see this bit by bit. I'm on the board of a temp staffing company. It's public, CRS, with about a run rate of $800 million in revenue. So I'm seeing this across the whole economy. Bit by bit, every corporation just about is firing expensive employees and hiring cheaper temp employees. You know, and that makes their margins improve.
Right.
It's good for the stock market.
That's good for the company that you're on the board of, right?
Sure.
The temp staffing company.
Sure.
Yeah.
The business is booming. I mean,
Right.
if you look at year over year, business is booming in revenues. It's incredible, and I'm seeing it bird's eye view. So what happened was, for the entire 2000s and even late 90s, companies were dying to get rid of all the dead weight because of all this new technology and globalization and outsourcing, but they couldn't do it. But 2008 kind of washed the tide in, and it gave everyone an excuse to say, okay, they did it, so I'm going to start firing everybody. And the firing never really stopped. So everybody's getting fired. New regulations are coming on board, and people don't even know how to rehire.
Right,
so they just outsource to temp staffing or outsource globally.
I mean, you see regulations talk about Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
That seems like a big driver. It's, generally speaking, corporations don't want to pay for benefits.
Not only do they not want to pay for benefits, they don't know what the benefits are that they have to pay for. So they have to outsource this, and temp staffing is just historically pays cheaper than permanent employees. And also, you know, people think companies have some sort of loyalty to them, just like they have loyalty to the companies.
Right.
But it doesn't exist anymore. Cubicles have become commodities. Essentially, what you have to do is always explore the frontier. And if you're stuck in a cubicle, you've got the target on your back. The CEO is looking to cut you out.
Right. So sure, but so play devil's advocate. If that's going to happen anyway, why quit? If it's going to happen anyway, why not wait for them to fire me, and then at least I can collect unemployment?
Well, okay, that's a good point. For one thing, unemployment doesn't really pay the bills. But the other thing is, you should stay at the job, but at the same time become what I call an entreployee first. Like, start to look for what your alternatives are. How can you build networking and connections within other divisions of the company? And also, how can you maybe start a business on the side, or at least become expert at services you can provide other companies or other small businesses? So there's lots of different ways one can become an entrepreneur with internet marketing and so on. You kind of have to. It's not like you say, oh, well, I'm not an entrepreneur, or I'm too old, or I'm too busy. You kind of have to, at this point, look for alternative sources of income, or else, because eventually you're going to get fired. Like, everybody's we're moving to an employee-less society. Temp staffing is just sweeping the nation like a fad or a trend.
Right. So you have a list on your blog. You wrote a list of 10 reasons why you should quit your job, and I think you just touched on one of them. It's not this idea of quit your job tomorrow, then figure it out. That you should take baby steps towards figuring out other things you can do or might want to do, so your destiny is more in your own control. That you're not at the whim of some corporate bean counter who's going to say, you know what, this person, we don't need them anymore.
If you're relying on one person, let's say a boss, to make or break your day, your month, your life, you're in trouble, because that boss is trying to kill you. So you need to start exploiting back. And I don't necessarily mean this in a bad way. Learn your employer's connections. You know, expand your services. You can't just relax now. Now we're in kind of this moving economy where you're going to have to fight to kill. And I don't necessarily mean this in a bad way. You kind of have to make sure, to be happy, that you're either going to be an entrepreneur, or you're going to have alternative sources of income, or you're going to be able to make a jump to other divisions within the company. If you're just sitting still, shuffling paper, they're going to fire you.